the first one that jumps out of my mind is Memoria by Apichatpong Wera Setakel.
Yeah.
I believe that's the correct pronunciation.
Yeah, he usually calls himself Joe too.
Yeah, for
Just,
Western audiences, I guess. I don't remember how we got, how we found out about this work.
I remember. Because you guys you were away on a trip. And I was home alone to work over the summer. And then I watched Uncle Boo and me
but I don't think that was how you found out about it.
I think so.
No, because I remember I wrote to you.
Okay.
There's this Thai director.
Oh, okay.
Named, this really big name.
Yeah.
Sorry if that's offensive by saying blah blah blah, but like it's like
it's a long name.
It's really for a Western person, you've never seen a name that's this long and kind of difficult to pronounce.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say that it was because we were interested in Taiwanese new cinema, which I mean he's not a part of that scene, but. Joe is actually very inspired by, the works of Hu Xiaoqian and Edward Yang. And I think it was somewhere there because they were kind of interesting filmmakers. They made these movies that lasted for 4 hours, and I think they were kind of inspired by this Italian neo-realism, which we were in turn inspired by for our first short film, Broken Swedish. His movies are astoundingly artistic. He can have really long scenes where nothing happens. Kind of reminiscent to the works of Abbas Kiarostami, the Persian film director, who kind of has this fly on the wall film technique or whatever you call it. He doesn't change angles or anything like that. It's just one scene and that's it, and it lasts for a really long time.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he say that he was kind of okay with people falling asleep?
Yeah, and Joe or Apichatpong has said exactly the same thing. That he also likes to make movies
that make people fall asleep.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't really have a problem with that.
Or maybe it didn't say I want them to fall asleep, but he said that they basically
he's interested in the subject of sleep.
Yeah, and doesn't have a problem with people falling asleep.
Yeah,
and also for the Memoria one.
Yeah.
It's actually sleep is a very important element of that film. And I thought it was really fascinating when I read an interview with Apichatpong when he was working on that film. And he said that he was really fascinated with sleep.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really, interesting for someone to have that as his main source of inspiration.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of similar to the Taiwanese film scene. This is a Thai movie, but I think it kind of brings the same type of atmosphere. I think his name is Penek Ratat. Tang or something.
Yeah, I have a little hard time saying his name, but he you mean Last Life in the Universe? Last Life in the Universe,
exactly. It's the same thing there. It's you just have the camera on, and it's more about the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And he even said that in an interview for Cannes, where he was the movie's about the way the wind feels as it's blowing through your shirt.
Clothes.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think a lot of people who are either been raised on Marvel, not that there's anything wrong with that, but they kind of they view it as an insult when they hear of a movie like this, because they think people who enjoy these types of movies kind of look down on them or something like that. There's this kind of weird inferiority a lot of people have with those types of movies. But then you also have these people that sometimes can give the impression that they're more artistic than you and me. They have the right clothes and they they talk the way you're supposed to, but even they have a big problem with these types of movies. They want to watch the worst person in the world, you know. That's they want to watch Woody Allen or Noah Baumbach,
which is more accessible art house, I would argue.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with it, but what I mean more is that like even the people that are artistic or claim to be artistic, or I mean it's such a pretentious title anyways, but like people who watch art house movies, whatever that means, even they find these types of films kind of like this. I've seen a lot of art house movies, but this is just too much for me, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, when I watch a movie like that, you know, I don't think at all about like, what does this mean? You know?
No.
I don't enjoy those movies because they do a deep dissection of like the Thai political climate or anything like that.
Explain a little bit what your thoughts are about that. Like, why do you enjoy the film if it's not for the meaning or like the clear meaning behind the images?
I just enjoy to watch. I mean, I like Marvel movies, but I also like to watch movies by filmmakers that have a very like specific vision with their film. And I mean, I don't find it exhausting to watch a movie that's, I mean, it's fairly slow tempo, but it's fairly enjoyable to watch too, you know.
Yeah.
It's nothing that's very like aggressive, like a lot of noises or anything like that. It's a very smooth feel to it.
And also I think it's like it's a vibe, you know. It's an aesthetic, it's an atmosphere, and you usually, like when you go to a place in the real world, you know, everything doesn't really mean anything. It's just a feeling. It evokes a certain sentiment within you. Yeah. And when a film does that, and it's not like clearly what does this mean, I think that's a pretty nice thing too, because I think usually in society, and maybe that has been the case always, but there's so much meaning. Like people say this is the way it's supposed to be, or this is the way it works. And something that doesn't say anything, but more rather just kind of evokes questions, I think is interesting. And also when Ingmar Bergman made the film Hour of the Wolf, which I saw pretty recently and which you've seen before. Yeah. I think some of the scenes in there that are quite surrealist. Even to him, he didn't really know exactly what all those scenes meant. And when they worked with the film and the actors worked on the film, they didn't really know what the scenes meant. But they were not, you know, nightmares and dream visions and these kind of things. Filmmakers like Apichatpong, more than any other filmmaker, is so much an experience. Yeah. More than just you know, storytelling or a message or anything like that. It's so much an experience. It's more like walking into the woods and exploring.